My first question will be for you, Jan. Some speculated that, given the fact that you were in the situation you were in the match, that maybe you might play a bit more sharply, if you will, with the black pieces. What was your strategy coming into the game?
No, I mean, the problem that basically playing as black, you don't have such a big choice, and I mean, especially it's classical. Even if you play so-called sharp opening like Sicilian, if white wants to shut it down, white surely will shut it down. So that's not realistic. Anyway, I have like a couple of white pieces, a couple of tries in the remaining 4 games, and I mean, of course, it depends on what would I produce in 11th game. But today was just, was just an idea to play a normal game, try not to blunder something in one move. Yeah, so I had some more realistic tasks.
You've only got, as you said, 4 games left. 3 games, you have to catch up for 3 points, a 3-point deficit.
I know.
Your strategy is still heavily trying to win this match?
Well, that's an absurd question.
Okay. You were at the board seemingly a lot more today than usual. What was the reason for that?
I guess the chair is more comfortable than sofa, yeah. But I mean, actually, today's game, yeah, was more or less obvious that it won't, last too long. But wasn't a big difference where to sit.
Magnus, draw, great result for you?
Yeah. At this point, I mean, there's so few games to go that any draw is, it's an excellent result.
Your choice of knight d3 in the opening instead of knight f3, what motivated that?
Mainly the prospects of getting the queens off very soon and getting a dry position.
So can I assume that for you now, it's just shut it all down and get out of here?
I mean, I very much assume he's gonna try and win, especially with the white pieces. But sure, any half point that I can get is great, and I think it's pretty obvious.
All right, I'll open the floor to reporters to ask questions. Again, use the mics on the side and be sure not to touch the microphones and always wear your mask, please.
Sagar Shah from Chessbase India. My question is to Magnus. Jan's knight c6 move in the opening, did it surprise you? It's a new move. And why did you opt for c3? And did you think of bishop e3 maybe there? It's a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. Knight c6 was a bit of a surprising move order to me. And as you said, bishop e3 is a move there. And surely the critical one. But I was just not in the mood. Yeah, I think the match situation sort of explains that. Frankly, I hadn't thought about him playing the Petrov today at all. I was preparing for various sharp openings that he could play, and the thought was if he goes 1e5, then I'll see. I didn't think like making a draw against the Petrov would be a major issue.
Thank you.
Rune from Chess24. Question to both players. Let's start with Magnus. What was the most interesting moment or moments of the game to you?
Yeah, there wasn't that much to talk about. I was fairly happy with the move g3 at some point. I kind of thought I might be getting a very slight edge at that point, And then probably I needed to be a bit more patient later on, since I was kind of hoping that after allowing this g5 to happen, that I could provoke f5 f4 maybe later on, and then start pushing with h4. But it all holds very well together for black there. So there's nothing. I think if I'd played a little more patiently there, I could have had the tiniest of edges, but naturally would have hunted it for it more diligently if the match situation had been different.
Okay, thank you. And Jan?
Well, I guess it was a huge moment when White didn't go for bishop e3. Okay, you know, bishop. I mean, in the opening, yeah, there's bishop e3, g5, knight d3, or something like this. Yeah, so this would, I know, spice things up a little bit. But yeah, maybe g6 was somewhat slow, so I should have played rook e8, knight g2, bishop g4 immediately. Yeah, not to allow this structure. Yeah, with my light square bishop being restricted. But yeah, I guess after g5, f5. So I was sort of concerned about like him playing a4, e5 at first, and only then going for this g4. Yeah, but I mean, okay, after g4, f5, I didn't really see White is going for something realistic. But of course, okay, I needed to be precise, not to blunder, as I used to do before. But yeah, in general, it's, you know, not much, not a lot of excitement today.
Okay, thank you.
I think he was first, really.
Oh, please.
Hans Solbakken from NRK. Question to both players. FIDE today decided that Kazakhstan in the Christmas time, the Rapid and Bliss is cancelled for Kazakhstan. They're working with the plan B to arrange it somewhere else. What do you think about that?
Well, I believe with all this, you know, Omicron story, yeah, it's pretty, I don't know how to say. It's pretty normal, yeah, at some point that all major sporting events are being closed or postponed. So that's the reality we live in. So, I mean, of course, it's a pity, but as for me, I didn't decide yet if I would love to play in World Rapid and Blitz or skip it this year if it will be held.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about that. Generally, I'm hoping to play if it's still held. Yeah. Otherwise, it's a pity, but obviously, it's not a lot you can do.
Now they're working with another plan.
Yeah, I understand.
Thank you.
Mike Klein with chess.com. My question is for Magnus. Magnus, you've not been in this situation since 2014, protecting a lead coming down to the wire. You've already explained some of your decisions today. You're normally a very uncompromising player, so did you have to be convinced of this pragmatic approach today, or did you make this decision all on your own?
No, there was some discussion in my team, but I was definitely not pushing for something. For a different approach, let's say.
Hi, this is Anna Cromling reporting from my channel, Anna Cromling. This is a question for both players. If you could only play e4 or d4 for the rest of your lives, which move of the two would you choose and why? Thank you.
Magnus?
Yeah, it's a little bit different from other questions. Thank you. I would probably go for e4. Seems like there's a little more variety there in both closed and open games. But otherwise, I'm thinking that It's probably enough theory that we have already, and it's difficult enough to get an opening advantage. So to actually be restricted to only one move would be a bit of a nightmare.
Well, I guess 100 years ago or about it, someone, I guess Rouser, thought that okay, white just wins after the first move e4. So quite something changed since then, but yeah, in general, overall, it feels like e4 is nowadays is more forcing, but at the same time, you know, I would say more fun. So let it be e4.
Okay, thank you.
Chess.com again, I'll also try my hand at a non-topical question for once. If either of you could choose any second in history to be on your current team, that is any player that's ever been alive to be on your current team, who would it be and why? Questions for both players.
Yeah.
I'm pretty satisfied with the team I have.
I'm also very satisfied with the team that I have, but maybe Kramnik in '96. He seemed to be a good second for Gary. Probably pretty annoying, but still very interesting.
Why would he be annoying?
I think that's self-explanatory.
So, Magnus, you have always been wanted to be a world champion in classical, rapid, and it's also blitz. So, my question to you is, what's your take on World Bullet over the board championship?
That sounds like a nightmare and pretty unrealistic. I think we're just not fast enough, not even close for that to be for that to be realistic. So I think speed chess in general over the board, it's good to have increment. It makes it better.
Thank you. And I would also like to know Nepo's opinion here.
Sorry, could you please repeat?
What do you think about World Bullet Championship over the board?
Well, if only it would be held, you know, with some wooden pieces, so it would, you know, make some sense. But apart of this, playing bullet online, I would say that there are quite a lot of computer games which require some nice reaction and also very, very interesting. And that's why I normally prefer these games instead of bullet games.
Thank you.
Ole Kristianstrøm, VG Norway. Question for Magnus. Is the title in classical chess more prestigious for you than Rapid and Blitz, or can you compare them?
Yeah, they're comparable in the sense that the classical title is only it's only contested every 2 years, and Rapid and Blitz is at least supposed to be every year. So I think that answers the question. Apart from that, I'm really happy that the effort has been made to organize Rapid and Blitz Championship the last few years, and it's certainly added something special to the calendar, and it's obviously very prestigious as well.
Thank you.
Hans Olbakken, NRK again. Question to Magnus. What activity do you hope Magnus Barstad is preparing for you tomorrow? Paddle, basketball, football? What do you hope for?
Well, I can also choose myself, but I will tell you what my plans are for tonight. They will. I hope to see two all-time greats bust out of their respective competitions, namely Barcelona and Bent Lakvold.
Question along a similar vein from chess.com for Magnus. You'll forgive me, my memory's not that good. In 2014 in Sochi, there was some discussion of you going around the Formula One track that was in the city. I don't know if that actually happened, but Formula One is also taking place in Abu Dhabi. Do you have any interest in going around that track?
Let's just say I've yet to be convinced about Formula One. I just I don't see the point. I think it's it's just not for me.
There are no more questions by the journalists, so I will ask a question that was sent by Twitter at FeedHS. You can send your questions to at FeedHS, and it may be asked on this in this show. At 13M5 from Luis Mendesi to Nepo, if given the chance to reset the tournament to start again, I guess they mean the match to start again, what would you have done differently?
I guess I would lose less and win more.
Thank you for that. That concludes the press conference. Tomorrow is a rest day. The next game will be on Friday at 16:30. Thank you, everyone, and have a great night.